First foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Dash, the one of the eldest pastors of Great Millstone. One to hopefully get of Hebrew Israelites, this brother Rocky coming back with a lesson. And of course, this is copyright disclaimer. This video is just used for educational and critique purposes. You know, it's not for monetary gain. It's from Fight Back podcast, where you have these two Jake Shields on the left, and then you have so-called commanding General Yahanna of ISUPK. Okay, with a hat and sunglasses on, man. Black Israelite General Yahanna on race, reparations and black identity fight back, episode 114. So I stumbled upon a part which I found very interesting, to say the least. Let's go through it and let's go from there.
The drugs, we got the red line. I'm talking the latest stuff. I'm not even going back all the hundreds of years of madness. Even to this day, look what we're getting out of Donald Trump and the Republicans. All so that the Democrats never get back in power. We got to die in the streets. We got to be attacked by the army. You know, our Latino brothers and sisters, families got to be ripped apart. You understand? Like, when it comes to advancing America, there's never a measure on what would be done to us. I mean, there are studies where they poured chemicals into the projects of blacks and Latino, where they've done all kind of, you heard, of course, of the Tuskegee experiment. Well, they've been doing them experiments all the way up into the 80s and 90s. If we were to lay out the track record that white people have again with us, it would be ridiculous. And so my point is...
Now, get ready to listen what Jake Shields is about to say and how General Yahanna, so-called General Yahanna, responds.
They're still doing it. You know what I mean? It hasn't been a rectification of it.
Yeah, they experiment with all of us, like the COVID vaccine, making us take that shit.
But that's your people. So, you know what I mean? If they experiment with all of us, it ain't right. It ain't right. I agree with you. But...
Wait a minute. Now that... ISUPK, no cowards. Them dudes, ISUPK cats was saying that us, you know, that followed men of GMS, you know, from eldest apostles and down, they was calling us cowards. You scared of needles. They was saying you gotta take the COVID vaccine. And now here he's saying that, yeah, that wasn't right. Yeah, that wasn't right. That we was made to take the COVID, the boxing jab, you know. So which one is it? And he was saying, yeah, it's some reverse psychology, you know. The white man, you know, doesn't want you to take it because he wants you to get COVID. So he's going to tell you to take it because he knows that, you know, the black people don't trust. So then they're not going to take it. So actually you should take it. So you're going to be safe from the c-19. So you see, and now let's play that again.
It hasn't been a rectification of it.
Yeah, they experiment with all of us, like the COVID vaccine, making us take that shit.
But that's your people. So, you know what I mean? If they experiment with all of us, it ain't right. It ain't right. I agree with you.
If they experiment with all of us, it ain't right. It ain't right. I agree with you. You see, double-minded, you know, hiding behind those sunglasses, man. This is not a sincere. This is not a sincere man. Yes, he's been in the truth for a long time. I believe he came just 2 months after Elder Apostle Tahar. So yeah, he been out here 40 years. Cannot take that away, but can you say he's in the truth, man? Can you really say that? He has bits and pieces of the truth. That's... Hey, you know, the leaders of our people. Let me see if I can get some of those scriptures, man. Yeah, Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. To take that COVID boxing jab, that would have been a horrible investment. Isaiah 9:16, for the leaders of this people caused them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Let the blind lead the blind, there be blind leaders of the blind, both shall fall into a ditch. I always forget the wording. Matthew 15:13, but he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father has not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Okay, they be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch. So that's straight up confusion, man. That's no accountability. So now pretty much he's saying he agrees that it wasn't good to take the c-19 jab. Okay, but then at that point, before, he was saying that you should take it. So which one is it? Let me try something. False prophet. There should be many scriptures. Yeah, Jeremiah. Okay, Jeremiah 5:31. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. And what will you do in the end thereof? The ISUPK not going into the MOTB, not just checking out this video where Captain Tasariak, he was being asked about the MOTB, and so could he even know the acronym on a live call, and then he was fumbling, he was just not being direct with it. He was saying that noise, is metaphorical, is symbolic, it's a symbolic thing, making pretty much all of these excuses to just admit that the mark is literal, especially when you go into the root words in the Greek. You're gonna see it. Jeremiah 14:14. Then the Lord Yahweh said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. So ISUPK used to teach that mark of the beast is sleeping with white women, being intimate with white women. Now where the fuck is that in the scriptures? So King Solomon had the mark of the beast. Okay, that's beyond stupid, man. And now are they still, so is it that, or is it something spiritual? I mean, what the fuck is it, man?
But it's one thing to be harmed by your own. It's another thing to be harmed by somebody else. In almost any civilized country, that's an act of war. If you know what I'm saying, if I go kill my own black people for whatever reason, I might get, charged or dealt with. But I go kill people in another country, that's an act of war. And basically, these wars have been pushed on us. So people say black people need to stop complaining. We the most masculine men on this earth.
They've been putting you on dresses in Hollywood.
They trying to.
Yeah, some motherfuckers have sold out, man. You know, Kid Cudi, I don't know how the fuck his name is not relevant, but yeah, that artist. Nigga wearing fucking wedding dress. Then you had Dave Chappelle, right? Who else? Did you have Kevin Hart? Had Kevin Hart as well? True.
That makes me sick. I'm not a black man. What are your thoughts on that? I think that's like shameful they do that to you guys.
I think if you put a people in poverty for 450 years, if you show every degrading part of their history, there's no way that they have the sustainability mentally to rise up out of that and to set a standard of dignity. The only standard of dignity black people have is the Bible. And that's why we cleave onto it so.
No, you don't. No, you don't cleave. Okay? This is not a man of the Lord, man. Does he go out to the highways and byways, man? Okay? He has pretty much Captain Tasariak is the... You know, it's even hard to find these General Yahanna appearances. Okay? Trying to find this interview or this podcast was hard. He doesn't have much, at least new material of himself. Or maybe he does some sit-downs. I don't know. But he, you know, you can see it is not a man of the Lord, man. In the spirit.
Because without the Bible, we wouldn't even know what we was. So even though it's biblically, I'm a biblical man, and even though it's biblically totally wrong for a man to be putting on a dress, I understand the damage of those men. Now add to that.
No, you cannot understand. They just, you know, they 2/3, man. Okay. You know, have no relation with the world.
To that, a white man that hands you more money than you've ever seen in your entire life.
A Jewish man making him wear the dress.
Well, most of the time, you know what I mean?
That white man happens to be a Jewish white man.
Which is just another white man.
I just don't accept
Poland,
them. I see your argument,
Germany.
they look like us, but I just don't accept them.
So that's a good comment from Jake Shields, you know, not mostly it's these damn Amalekites. I don't know, maybe this Jake Shields, you know, his name is Jake, so maybe he had Jake, I don't know.
Czechoslovakia.
Because it always, not always,
Russia.
but the majority of the time it turns back to the same, those white men all happen to also be white Jews.
Listen, among black people, there are certain groups of black people that are better than others. Among white men, there's some, well, you got one, listen, if the Jews worked well with you, all you white countries would be rich, because they are the robbingest, thievingest bunch of monsters that ever walked the face of the earth. Unfortunately, they want all the pie for yourself. And that goes back to another great point, Jake. Like, the founding fathers of America, man, were smart. Those were some smart white boys.
I'm glad you could.
You know what I mean? Like, them white boys were smart.
They were smart. Our Congress couldn't do that today, what they put together.
Listen, if they had the heart them cats had, I think those was the last of your main tough guys. You know what I'm saying?
They had balls, intelligence, courage.
And they put together a constitution knowing how your own people could be. They knew. So they put those rules in place to give them the Second Amendment, to give them militias, to give you they gave you every rule to protect yourself from the rest of white people. And white America blew it.
I'm disappointed in my own people, so I'm not gonna
I feel you.
I'm definitely disappointed that a lot of the shit we've done has been, like you said, you have some disappointments with your people. Let me say, okay, so you have complaints against us.
Right.
The big complaint with white people is there's far more violence of blacks, you know, killing and doing violence to white people than the opposite direction. What would you say about that?
I would say if I go in my phone right now, I'd be hard pressed to find the last black mass shooter, wouldn't I?
There's some. They usually count those more as gang, to be fair, which is not quite the same. But the school shootings and stuff, unfortunately, are more white.
And gang violence is not mass shooting.
Yeah, they put them down there on the list, but I agree. I agree with you.
If I'm in a gang and he's in a gang, and we got a problem with each other, that's not a mass shooting.
Yeah, the FBI puts those there, but
it's really not supposed to be.
So if you look at the actual statistics, it shows blacks are more, but that's kind of cheating.
The truth is,
I'll agree with you. I'm an honest person, so I'm not gonna lie.
Go look at why they're killing. Like they become homosexual and then get offended because the Republicans or whatever speak against homosexuality. So everybody in the school gotta die. That's the problem with white people. That's your flaw, Jake. Face your flaw, baby.
That's the problem. I think a lot of them are on these SSI drugs too. I'm not saying
serial killers have been going on since the days of slavery.
Yeah, the biggest serial killer of all time was a black guy. It wasn't Samuel Little. He has like 93 kills. The movie doesn't cover him for some reason. There was the zebra killers too in San Francisco, which killed like about 20 white people, racial killing. So it does. Some reason the media doesn't cover them the same.
Let's be for real. Any black man that's considered a serial killer for killing white people is miscategorized. It's straight up miscategorized. Of course it is. What country, what people would suffer what we suffered and not have at least a few that would want to be revolutionary?
I understand the anger, so I'm not saying
No, I'm not angry about it at all. This is what I'm saying, Jake. Look at the reality. If you're black and you watch what happened to us for 350 years, you just might turn around and say, I'm going to get a gun and go out and hunt.
But the thing is, you see this so-called commanding general is carnal because he's only looking at the outside appearance. For him, someone look white, that's Edomite. Someone looks Arabic, that's Ishmael. Basically he would say, I'm a Hamite because my father is from West Africa. Okay, the western part of DR Congo. So I would be considered a Hamite. Okay, that's carnality. You look at my father, my whole family. They would all pass as so-called African Americans. Okay. Because that's where the African Americans were taken from the first place. So it's beyond stupidity going on in ISUPK, man.
I'm not advocating that.
Yeah,
but boy,
so it's hard to say.
The bar has been very low for white people.
Yeah, white people did help end it all. I mean, we're definitely guilty of doing it. So
you get bullied in school, you shoot up the whole school. Like I'm like, he got any manhood? Like, where is this guy? You know what I mean?
That's some cowardly shit.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean?
Bro, that's just disgusting.
Babies, what was it, down in Texas? Shot up all those babies. I think he was a Latino, I'm not sure, but that's cowardice, man. That's cowardice. And so
ISUPK no cowards.
I can't say black people commit more crimes than white people. Black people are far more investigated for it. Black people are far more implemented in it. You know what I mean? Let's face it. We're under white oppression. And under white oppression, they just passed the law. Trump just got them to pass the law that they could profile. Something they always wanted. You had to actually think about that, Jake. You had to actually make a law so that your own officers would not profile black people. You know why? Because no white people was going to jail. No white people was getting caught for all the crimes they were doing.
Well, I think there is a lot more violence in the black community still, but I mean, obviously this goes back to slavery and shit. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it is.
Check them FBI statistics.
If you look at just
the FBI, if you look at the 6 o'clock news, you're gonna think black people just randomly doing violence.
Well, I think it's about the same, but there's way more white people than black people in America. So if they're the same, that means black people are doing way more murders.
Absolutely not, because black people are in a horrible situation compared to whites.
And they are in those ghettos. I don't disagree with that. I've actually
would that many black people be in the ghetto fight while gunfight fire is going on if they had the means to get out of the ghetto?
They wouldn't. And these are issues where it's like no one wants to talk about how they solve them, I guess, because
nobody wants to face what they did.
Because Yeah, but you still okay.
You got to be a man to deal with this.
Okay. Let's say we did fuck you over though.
Right.
But we still have to look at a solution of how do you pull yourself out of that.
It's an easy
black
solution.
people need to maybe work together.
You know what the solution is?
What's that?
Real simple. The United States has 50 states, right?
Yeah.
Okay, check this out.
Black people are 15% of the population, right? Take 15% of the land mass of the United States, turn it over to black people and call it Black America. Let them establish a government, get the CIA out of our neighborhood.
That's his solution, okay? For the future. To get us right as a nation. Okay? And he only speaking about the blacks. Yeah, he mentioned Latinos in some other aspect. But where is the Latinos and Native American Indians and Seminoles on this context? Check this out, man. It's some bullshit, man.
Black people need to maybe work together.
You know what the solution is?
What's that?
Real simple. The United States has 50 states, right?
Yeah.
Black people are 15% of the population, right? Take 15% of the land mass of the United States, turn it over to black people and call it Black America.
Black America. So what about the Latinos, the Northern Kingdom?
Them establish a government, get the CIA out of our neighborhoods.
We are under the curses. That shit is not gonna work.
And we'll migrate the hell up out of here, give you every beautiful city, and we'll go build an empire like you've never seen before.
Yeah, see, I'm not opposed to
Solution,
that.
problem solved.
So you don't want white people to like do it for you and give you handouts.
Who would? What real man wants?
No man would, but tons of black guys say that. That's what
because
I'm saying.
Hey, you know, the Middlemites gonna build in the kingdom. They're gonna be in captivity. We ain't gonna be out there, you know, construction workers, you know, sweating, you know, just building shit in the kingdom. We're gonna let the nations do it, man.
As far as I'm concerned, they're not a man.
See, I can respect you. I respect that.
Yeah, like no man wants, especially if he's been oppressed by white people.
It's
no man
dehumanizing.
wants. Exactly. You don't
like,
want to, you know, come and be under some guy who's you always. Listen, I say this all the time on the street, and tell me what you think, Jake. I tell people all the time, what you ask us to do, you would have never asked the Jews after World War II. Imagine if you told the Jews after World War II, you got to go back to Germany. Even though they raised this against you, you got to work with the Germans. And even if it takes 100 years, you got to try to, you know, show the Germans that you're a human. That's what we had to do. They didn't go for that. They got the hell out of there. The minute they got a chance at the state of Israel, they got the hell away from the Germans. And to this day, Jake, almost 50 years later, over 50 years later, the Germans are still paying reparations to them.
Yep,
now, what did we get? What did we get?
Much.
We had to be forced to try and live with our slave master who was lynching us, raping us, castrating us, burning us up in pots, murdering us, lynching and everything else. We had to learn how to live with that kind of a man.
Yeah.
You understand?
So I'm opposed to reparations, but I would rather give you reparations than send money to fucking Israel. It's insane to me that we do that.
Are you opposed to paying a man for what he's worked for? Are you opposed to that?
I would be willing to have the conversation.
Come on, this is here we go.
Well, because it's your ancestors.
I thought I was gonna find another way.
Because it's me.
It doesn't matter, Jake.
Your ancestors.
It doesn't matter.
I'd much rather pay you than fucking Israel.
Come on. If a white man worked right now today and worked himself to death, which has happened many times, the coal miners and other groups, and he dies, and his kids find out that he was not given what he was supposed to be given and goes to court, there's not a judge in America that would not say, give this man or woman the money that's owed them.
Isaiah 14:21, slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. You know, Esau always saying, no, I didn't do it, it was my forefathers. Well, there's consequences for you for what your forefathers did, because you were your forefathers in the earlier incarnations. All praise Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahshai, B'Hashem, Chak, Dash, Shalom. On to the next one.